New deal gives every F1 team more money. F1 has set its budget cap for 2022, which is apparently benefiting every team. Formula One reaches half its longest season with 23 races planned ahead of the 2022 season, which will see substantial rule changes. This year's enormous jump in inflation and freight costs has placed a strain on team finances, and several teams are anxious that they may be unable to keep inside F1's $140 million caps for 2022. Want to know more? Stick till the end of the video and let's get straight into this. The sports regulations were recently altered due to an agreement between the sports owner, Liberty Media, and the FIA, establishing the previously promised budget ceiling of $145 million. Its first planned slow release was hastened owing to the epidemic effect. Furthermore, the present ceiling should be gradually reduced over the following 2 years. Teams have used many techniques and economic models throughout the years to maintain their survival and grow in the most technologically advanced sport of all. This may appear a relatively simple assignment for larger teams controlled with automakers, especially since the budget cap was implemented to level the playing field. This is not the case with smaller independent teams. In addition to these 2 shares of F1 revenue, certain teams have access to additional funds due to their standing in the sport. While precise specifics of the arrangement have not been made public, some have. According to the race, Ferrari wins an extra share because it's the only company competing every season. It has a tremendous political and marketing impact on the sport. In addition, under the new regulations, teams with a specific legacy in the sport or who have been among the top 3 in recent years are entitled to a 20% share of F1 earnings beyond the $650 million mark. Toto Wolff of Mercedes believes Formula One is on the cusp of being profitable for all 10 teams due to a mix of cost-cutting strategies and revenue-boosting ones. The new budget restriction for 2021 and updated agreement for a fair division of prize money have reduced F1's top teams' expenditure while increasing the percentage of F1's income that smaller teams are entitled to. Various teams have used various methods throughout the years to strengthen their enterprises and, as a result, their competitiveness and income. The most evident, at least for manufacturers, is the transfer of technology. The Formula One team, in addition to being a potent marketing weapon for corporations like Ferrari, Mercedes, Alpine, Aston Martin, and McLaren, is also an essential platform for technological development to transfer and apply to their respective road-legal vehicles. Throughout the years, there have been several instances of luxury performance automobiles. The second function, used mostly by automakers and in certain circumstances by bigger teams, is that of suppliers. The engine is, of course, the most prevalent component. Once again, automakers supply engines for their teams as well as for outsiders. Mercedes will manufacture engines for McLaren and Williams in 2021, while Ferrari will produce engines for Haas and Alfa Romeo. Alpine, of course, employs a Renault engine, which has previously supplied many other teams. On the other hand, Red Bull and AlphaTauri are powered by Honda engines. Honda is presently solely present as a supplier, despite formally competing in the competition. On the income side, F1 utilized a mechanism that routed significantly more cash gathered from items like television rights and race hosting costs to winning teams than to organizations near the bottom of the rankings. Now, sponsors were also wary of associating with teams who couldn't regularly place their drivers on the podium. The lesser teams dropped deeper in the rankings without a war fund to equip their vehicles. It was a feedback loop that teams like Manor and Force India went bankrupt, and Lotus, which was forced to sell for pennies on the dollar, couldn't break free from. The issue had reached existential proportions. Next year's technical changes will simplify the vehicles and make the championship competition. The goal is for F1 to become a more equitable competition in terms of both money and sport, and to put a ballpark price on competing for victories and titles. Red Bull team head Christian Horner stated that the size of the problem was bad enough that teams could have to miss races to avoid a violation. Discussions with F1 and the FIA have taken place in an attempt to reach an agreement to increase the budget cap limitations, although not all teams favor such a move. Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto stated before the Monaco Grand Prix that if the budget ceiling continues at its present level, his team would be forced to break it. He believed Ferrari would be the subject to what is regarded as a minor rule violation, that is, within 5% of the limit for which there is no fixed punishment. According to the F1 rule book, minor infractions can result in a public reprimand, loss of driver and constructors' points, suspension from races, or a decrease in aero testing or future cost cap limitations. As a result, clubs are unsure if their expenditures will substantially impact their outcomes. When asked what would happen if the budget ceiling was not raised, Binotto responded, "I think there will be no way for us to stay below. Therefore, I am quite sure at some point we will go over. I have no clue how they will decide on the punishment. I don't think there's any way for us or many teams to stay inside budget, and even laying off employees isn't the best option. It's already July and the advantage is insufficient to compensate for the exorbitant fees and costs. So what are the ramifications? What will be most significant is that many teams will violate it, which I believe will be simply disastrous for financial regulations. If we violate the financial restrictions, I believe we'll start questioning whether the financial regulations are working, which would bring everything back into question." Horner believes Ferrari is not alone in being unable to remain within the cost constraint at the moment, and he fears the conclusion of the year will be overshadowed by heated debate regarding fines for exceeding the cost limitation. "I believe all of the major clubs will exceed the $140 million cap this year," he said. "However, what is the penalty for a small violation? What we don't want to do is wind up playing a game of chicken where you go for 4.9% over and we go for 4.7%. And it may be a significant improvement. It could be the differentiating element in this World Championship. These various changes have enticed new investment across the grid, Ineos purchasing 1/3 of the Mercedes F1 team and Wolff increasing his stake while Dahmer's was reduced. McLaren selling a significant minority stake to a U.S. consortium, and Williams being purchased by U.S. investment firm Dorlton Capital. The race addressed many top team figures about the worth of an F1 team and whether anyone should be selling a team ahead of this week's United States Grand Prix. "We are at a really good period for Formula One because viewers are expanding, the sport's appeal is growing, and we are gradually but steadily accessing the Americas," said Wolff. Formula One is so successful that a substantial portion of EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes, that is delivered to the team is covered by TV alone. So it's a fairly predictable exercise. Whoever buys a Formula One team now knows precisely what they need to spend to be competitive, since we wouldn't be able to spend more. So it's become a very nice economic opportunity on my side. I would never sell my team. On the contrary, I purchased an extra 3% with Ineos' arrival, which I'm extremely pleased with. Formula One has never been stronger, said McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown, whose agreement with MSP Sports Capital in late 2020 was critical for the team to carry out measures critical to preserving its recent revival. I believe Liberty saw that there was a lot of value to be produced when they acquired the sport, and I think we're seeing that today. The new investors and serious people who are sports investors and control substantial businesses, and when compared to the worth of other sports franchises throughout the world, Formula One teams are undervalued. The new budget has been taken care of, and we'll probably see more action in the coming season. Well, that's it for today. Please do leave a like and share the video with your friends and family, and thanks.